do Farseek, Thragtusk, blah, blah, blah. All of a sudden, I'm going to do a big Sphinx Revelation, and I'm going to take over the game.
Right, Stephen Cahill has 3 Sphinx's Revelation, Ryan Swatkins 2 Ratos returns. So the dueling X spells, Stephen Cahill has the advantage there. He has quite a few counter spells in his deck. He has 2 Syncopate, 2 Dissipate, actually only 4. 4 hard counters, a little card draw in the form of Azorius Charm, Think Twice, Mana Acceleration, and Jace.
All right, so we'll see what happens here. Looks like Steven won the die roll. Just starts us off with a couple of M10 lands, why not? And make sure you guys stay tuned because we're going to give away some premium. And I'm sure you guys want to know who's making top 8, what decks are out there. Maybe you have an IQ tomorrow, so get a leg up on the competition. So Brian Swatkins leads off with a Farseek. He goes fetches up an old school Blood Crypt. Speaking of old school, all those lands are pretty old school. The original
on the left here? Yeah. They are. You know, it doesn't seem to me like Ravnica was that long ago, but really,
it really
is. What, 7 years?
Yeah, 7 years. I remember it. Yeah, I remember.
I remember when I first met you, it was a Ravnica block standard PTQ, Team PTQ.
Okay.
And Ravnica was the brand new set.
And we became best friends ever since.
Well, you weren't very happy with me.
You beat me?
I defeated you.
Yeah. All right. Well, enough of this nonsense of you beating Gerard Fabiano's.
No one does that.
In the meantime, Steven is casting a Farseek. He gets his forest, not his forest, I'm sorry, his foil breeding pool, which is a forest.
It's a forest.
Yeah, it's a forest and an island. He gets his forest, he gets his island, and does he not have a land? Wow, no land drop. Oof. Yeah.
That's pretty painful. I see another Farseek there in his hand, as well as a couple Thragtusks, so as soon as he does get that land, the ball will be rolling pretty quickly.
Yeah, there's a Huntmaster from Brian, and he's going to make that wolf token and gain 2 life. Let's see if Steven draws anything here. All right, so Steven finally draws another land, and he's going to play the Farseek, like you said. Yep. What do you think he's going to fetch up here? Hollow Fountain?
He has plenty of white mana, something with green in it, I believe.
The Temple Garden?
Yep, Temple Garden, that's pretty good. At this point, though, just like all these decks in Standard, the mana's great. They don't really need anything in particular.
Sure. Are you surprised there's no Garrick?
Yeah, I'm really surprised that his only Planeswalker was Jace Architect of Thought.
Yeah.
And only 2 of that. I would want more card advantage, more continual card advantage.
Sure, yeah. And I mean, Garrick is always nice when it's combined with Thragtusk.
Yeah.
All right, so there's an Azorius Charm, putting that Huntmaster back on top. And I think Steven's plan is to just start dropping Thragtusk. I think he has 2 in hand. Wow, that might alter Steven's plan. He's going to have to lose 3 of his 5 cards, it looks like.
Yep, so Thragtusk, and... Oh, can't tell what the blue cards are. Okay, he's deciding on Dissipate v Thragtusk.
So he only had 4 cards? Oh, because of the Azorius Charm.
Right.
Yeah, that's crazy. What do you think here?
I think you have to keep the Tusk.
Yeah, I think so too. Wow, this game is not looking good for Steven all of a sudden, just after 1 Rakdos return.
Yeah, Rakdos return is so powerful.
It really is.
So there it is. There's the Tusk, brings Steven back up to 20. But unfortunately for him, he doesn't have anything left. He plays the land that he just drew and has to pass back to Brian, who has a decently full grip here.
Yeah, pretty much Steven's hoping to draw a Sphinx Revelation. Even a Jace would be fine here, with Thragtusk, you know, defending the Jace,
right,
so to speak. We know Brian's going to draw this Huntmaster. Okay, it was pretty funny how he drew it. He drew it kind of like it wasn't a bonfire, but we all knew it was a Huntmaster because it's got placed on top. And decides not to play it. Instead, he wants to go to the air, develop his mana, and play a Nighthawk. You like that play?
Yeah, it's almost always better to play 2 spells rather than 1, especially versus Steven, who doesn't really have any threats right now. The Huntmaster wouldn't be much.
Okay.
This seems like a good play.
Yeah, that's fair.
Brian can now start getting in with that key room if he wants to.
Yeah, he could. But he also might want to keep that key room back. Oh, but he takes your line of play. He wants to bash in for 5 points.
Yeah, Steven not too happy here. That Rakdos return really hit him hard. Got all of his spells.
It was looking really good for him, too.
Ryan Swatkins, though, he has a pair of red spells in his hand. Those really aren't that useful right now. Pillar of Flames and such, so...
Yeah. I'm kind of confused. Does Steven think that Rakdos Return exiles the card? I see Farseek, Azorius Charm in his graveyard. We're going to ask the producers on that one. We're going to see what happened to the cards that he discarded from Rakdos Return.
Yeah, they should probably be in his graveyard.
Yeah.
Pretty minor. consideration.
Yeah, he's not playing Snapcaster Mage, besides for the 2 in his main deck.
Right.
Missed it right there, yeah. So yeah, that definitely is relevant. You tricked me again, Zach. You're like, that's no relevance. And I'm like, all right, I guess he's not playing Snapcaster.
The old bait and switch.
Yeah.
So Thragtusk counter swung, but that lets Brian swing in with his wolf token this turn. That's going to drop Steven to 8 life.
Yeah. And we know Brian has a bonfire hand. I'm still slightly confused about the graveyard issue. Because even when he got Ratos returned, he started placing his cards like as far off screen as possible. I guess trying to trick us. Alright, Steven draws for his turn.
Yep, Steven facing down a huge army.
Still crashing in with the Ratos.
Bold.
I think he's gonna, does he have Supreme Verdict, I think?
He must. If he's attacking, he has to have it, I think.
Yeah.
Or maybe a Terminus. He does play 2 Terminus in his deck, 3 Supreme Verdict.
I mean, if you're Brian here, do you just double block the Thragtusk? I think I might.
Knowing my opponent has Supreme Verdict, yeah, I probably would have.
Yeah. Alright, so it looks like Steven just wants to play with 2 graveyard piles.
Well, that's kind of cool. I've never seen that one before.
Yeah, maybe we'll have a judge have him fix that shortly. So there's that. Everyone can see what's going on exactly on screen. There's that 3/3 Star City Beast token. There's the real star token, not Star City.
Real star of this game.
Yeah.
Beast token. So coming in for 3 is Brian Swatkins, dropping Steven to 15, or rather to 5. He's taken 15 this game.
All right, and I think Brian's gonna. What do you think his best line of play here is?
I would slam that Thragtusk if he has a 5th land. I'm not sure what else he'd do. Maybe Huntmaster, but that's...
What's his hand? Thragtusk, Huntmaster, Pillar, Bonfire?
I think so.
Yeah, I mean, his hand's really good.
Yeah. So he'll gain 2. He'll go up to 14, producing a couple more creatures. Threaten lethal on the next swing.
Yeah, Steven's going to need a Sphinx Revelation.
Yeah.
Oh, and he doesn't have it and just scoops up.
So not really a close game, though. Rakdos return was just a huge blowout.
Yep.
And you know that's why Jund is so powerful. It plays so many powerful cards versus every kind of deck, and it happened that Brian Swatkins drew the cards that were powerful against the control decks.
Exactly. Now Steven is a lock with a win, and Brian, if he wins, he needs another match not to draw.
Okay.
Which most likely they're not going to, and B, he needs his tiebreakers to hold up. If you look here, Brian Swatkins has tiebreakers of 70.7. and Tyler has tiebreakers of 70.6.
Wow, so really close, 1/10% difference there.
Yeah.
And you know, anyone experienced at tiebreaker math will tell you the tiebreakers shift between like 1.5%, 3%, somewhere, probably at the very most 3%. So Brian is not safe by any stretch of the imagination, even if he wins.
Yeah, the more rounds there is in a tournament, the less your tiebreakers will change. The less rounds, the more it will change.
Right.
So here, the most your tiebreakers will really change is probably 1 to 1.75%.
Okay.
Maybe 1 to 2. Two's even pushing it, to be honest.
Yeah, two doesn't happen very often. 2 would have to have most of Tyler's previous round opponents lose or win, and most of Brian's lose.
Yeah, so let's take a look at Brian's sideboard. Brian's definitely going to bring in the 2 duress here. He knows that Steven plays Sphinx Revelation. You know, he's playing blue and white lands. He's obviously playing Sphinx Revelation. Probably has a couple Planeswalkers, either Jace or Garrett. We all know that he's playing Jace.
Right, Tameo maybe.
Yeah, exactly. Tameo's another one. And, you know, just in general, Azorius, Charming Gift, Farseek, Dissipate, even taking something like a Think Twice isn't the worst.
Yeah, Duress is just a great card in this matchup. It also lets you know how much, you know, you can really extend the board, how many creatures you want to play into a possible Supreme Verdict type effect.
Exactly. He's going to bring the extra copy of Ratos Return. Ratos Return was amazing there. He's probably going to bring the Acidic Slime, the Underworld Connections, the Liliana of the Veil, and the 2 Rukdars.
Yeah, that seems pretty reasonable. Take out most of the removal like we've been seeing the Jund decks do all day.
You know, something like he has 2 copies of Pillar Flame. They're kind of stinky. He's got 1 copy of Tragic Slip. Stinky. Yeah, Bonfire. You don't really want that, you know?
No. Even Vampire Nighthawk is an anti-creature card.
Yeah, it's not very good. Sometimes you'll leave in 1 copy of Bonfire just as like a Miser's Bonfire. Yeah. But for the most part, nah.
Steven, on the other hand, he has a few tools as well. He has Jace Memory Ed up. He'll probably be bringing that one in.
Sure.
The more Planeswalkers, the better.
Yeah, against Jund, lots of times it does get grindy. You know, someone might Rakdos return your hand, and you're like, all right, followed up with Jace, draw a card. You know, have a threat to win.
Right, less of the mill them out type of thing, more of just the
+1.
Right, Staff of Nin type of effect,
Sure,
where you draw an extra card. So he has that. He has a pair of Selesnya Charms that could potentially exile Thragtusk, exile Olivia Valdarin. He might bring those in. A Progenitor Mimic to just go big.
Sure, yeah, definitely. And probably the extra Aetherling.
Yeah, the extra Aetherling, no doubt.
Just because it's so tough for you know, a Jund deck to kill an Aetherling. All they're really going to have is 2 copies of Putrefy, and even then, as long as you have blue mana available, Putrefy is only going to really work as like a fog for the turn.
Right. And the card in Steven's sideboard that I'm most excited about is Plasm Capture. Just such a cool card.
Pretty much mana drain.
Yeah. So that'll mana drain for any color mana. It'll counter a big spell, maybe a Planeswalker or an X spell from Brian Swatkins.
Sure.
And Steven will untap and cast a gigantic Sphinx's Revelation.
Yep. That's pretty much living the dream. In case you guys don't know, Steven is sponsored by Gatorade, as he's drinking that big jug of Gatorade right now in between. So, looks like Brian's going on to 6. He looks kind of zoned out, to be honest. I don't know if he realizes that this is most likely a win-and-end match. You know, lots of times when you're X and 2, you're unfamiliar with how tiebreakers work. You're not really sure with the math. You might say, oh, I'm X and 2. Everyone tells me I have to be X and 1 or X1 and 1 to make it. I'm out of contention. But that's not the case here. So we'll see what happens. Both guys are pretty much from the area. You know, Brian's from Connecticut, not too far away. Yep. What is that, an hour and a half drive?
Yeah, about that. Guilford, Connecticut. Not too bad. But Steven is actually from right here in Worcester. Yeah.
About a 15-minute drive, he said.
Yeah, not bad at all.
So,
pretty good to be 7:02, 9 rounds into a tournament. That's 15 minutes from your house.
Yeah, both players are pretty much new to the SCG circuit, but they figured, hey, it's pretty close. Why not come out and look at these 2 guys battling for top 8?
Right. Brian Swatkins on his player card, he has an interesting claim. He says he's the best. He has the best catchphrase team in North America.
Oh wow! If you guys aren't familiar with catchphrase, it's a wonderful game. So here, both players are just really playing lands, not doing anything. Steven's going to cycle the Azorius Charm, and he'll untap. He's really looking just to slam a Jace right here. That would be amazing for him on an empty board.
Oh yeah, it definitely would. But instead, just
nothing. Wow.
Both players taking it pretty slow here. It seems like they slowed their decks way down after sideboard.
Yeah, that usually happens. So there's an Olivia from Brian, and it's going to resolve, but then there's a Renounce against.
Right.
Yeah. Brian was already putting in his period as soon as Steven went to go tap some mana. He's like, okay, I know this is getting a counter, just not going to live.
Yeah, Steve has 3 Renounce the Guilds after sideboard.
There's that Jace I'm talking about.
Big Daddy Jace.
What do you want to do? You want to bring it to 5 or you want to bring it to 2?
I think I'd put it right up to 5.
Yeah, okay. I kind of would like the 5-2, just plays around Ratos return here.
Right. Or maybe even Pillar of Flame if Brian was silly enough to keep those in.
Maybe a Bonfire, you know?
Bonfire too,
a Miser Bonfire in. He could untap, play a land, Bonfire for 2.
Now, if I was Steven and I had another Jace side, I would certainly just -2 it right away.
Sure,
If I didn't, I would +1.
All right, Steven pretty much with a full grip. And Brian's going to play his 5th land here. He is up a game. He was on the mulligan. I think I see a... Wow.
And
it's a
Ratos
return and a Bonfire.
Wow.
But instead he plays Thragtusk. Wow. That's... All right, maybe Brian has a line that he wants to take. Personally, when I see a Jason play, I get nervous.
Yeah.
If it's Jace Barreler in, all the way up to Jace the Mind Sculptor, you know, I don't want Jace to stay in play.
Now, you know, I don't hate Brian's play here because Steven has to +1 at this turn unless he's just going to bin it for 2 more cards. Steven's going to have to tap out to answer that Thragtusk, and next turn the Rakdos return will be +1.
Well, the whole thing is Steven doesn't have to tap out because he has a Azorius Charm. He could say, okay, I'm going to Azorius Charm the Thragtusk. Sure, you get a Beast token, not a big deal. And now I'm going to have 4 mana open to use my counterspell.
I see.
Yeah. All right, but instead he's going to play a Farseeking Test. It's kind of interesting. I guess he wants to kind of develop his mana. I do see a Sphinx Revelation in Steven's hand.
Oh.
Maybe he's thinking, I want to do as big as possible. I want to go Sphinx Revelation for 5. I want to go Sphinx Revelation for 6. You know, so we'll see how this game plays out.
Yeah, Steven really just content to develop the mana. I did see a Syncopate in his hand, so...
Yeah, I think a Syncopate and an Azorius Charm.
Yeah, so really good tools to fight Brian Swatkins' draw.
I think I'll probably just Azorius Charm this. Give him the Beast token.
Yeah, why not? Who cares? You're drawing some extra cards off Jace. You have a Sphinx's Revelation. That's fine.
Right. So there's that Beast. Steven takes our line of play.
Yep, and we'll see if Brian plays around Syncopate here.
Let's see if he's going to go for that big Rakdos return here.
Oh, he pulls the Thragtusk to the front. Looks like he's going aggro. He really wants Steven to tap out before he plays that Rakdos return.
Yeah, kind of interesting because Steven was tapped out last turn, essentially. He only had 1 mana open.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, all right, so Cavern is on Shapeshifter. Maybe Aetherling's going to come down in the near future.
Yeah, he does have the 2 Aetherlings in his deck, and 3 after sideboard.
All right, so Jace is going to allow him to dig deeper into his deck. What would you take here, land and Renounce, or would you just take Sphinx Revelation?
If I didn't have another land, I'd probably take the land pile.
Yeah, you know, like, chaining Sphinx Revelation is obviously nice, but the board position and the way the game is playing out, I think just playing some more lands, getting something cheap like a Renounce the Guilds could definitely come in handy.
Right. Something like the blue-white-red flash deck, it's more painful for that deck to put the Sphinxes on the bottom because it has no shuffle effects, but Steven has quite a few.
So with Farseek,
right, exactly,
and whatnot, so
Sphinxes will go right back into the deck.
And plus the band control deck does have more life gain. Blue-white-red has Sphinx Revelation and War Leader's Helix.
Right.
Here we have Sphinx Revelation and Ratos.
Yep. So Beast Token takes out that Jace. The Jace got 1 extra activation, but not so bad.
All right. And it looks like Brian's just trying to chain Thragtusks here, but it looks like Stevens has a Syncopate for 3, for 2.
Enough?
Yeah, more than 1. So
yeah, Brian with this Rakdos return in hand, it looks like he's trying to set that up.
Yeah, it's going to be tough, though.
Oh, wow. What's Steven tapping for?
I think it's an Aetherling. Wow, and that could just end the game.
Yeah,
Aetherling is an amazing card. I mean, Brian might be kind of happy. He's like, oh, he's tapping low. Maybe it's, you know, something not that powerful, but boom, it's an Aetherling.
Yeah, this will give Brian Swatkins the opportunity to resolve his Rakdos return if he wants to.
Yep.
But how is he going to beat Aetherling going long?
Wow, I don't think he'll be able to.
Yeah, does Brian Swatkins have access to Liliana of the Veil after sideboard?
Yes, he has 1 copy.
Okay.
Yeah. 1 copy of Liliana of the Veil that he brought in, one copy of Underworld Connections, copy of Six Slime, an extra Rakdos return. Looks like Brian really kind of planned out a sideboard. He's like, I want an extra one of this in this matchup, I want an extra one of that in that matchup. So I definitely like how Brian built the sideboard.
So Cavern?
Probably naming Vampire.
I would think Vampire. He's already went through quite a few Thragtusk too already.
It's either going to be Vampire or like Human.
Sure, yeah. Or maybe Rurik Thar, whatever that guy's creature type is.
It's Human.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, so there's a Rakdos return for 3. So it's everything.
That's a good Rakdos return. Sphinx's Revelation, Counterspell, and another Aetherling.
I think it was a Renounce the Guilds.
Oh, Renounce the Guilds, okay.
All right, but I mean, Aetherling's probably going to end this game here.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens.
Just absurdly powerful.
Yeah, make it unblockable, pump it to an 8/1, leave open a couple of blue mana, and you're all set.
Yeah, it'll take 4 attacks, but Brian can't really attack in the meantime.
Yeah, Brian's going to need. I'm trying to think what could really, maybe like a Wolf Run will help. That would be a start.
Yep.
Followed by like a Putrefy to Fog a turn. He does have a Thundermaw Hellkite.
That's a start right there.
I'm really confused why that Aetherling is not untapped. Why would you not blink out the Aetherling so you're able to block the Beast token?
Yeah, I'm not sure. Steven Cahill cost himself 3 life there.
Yeah, I mean, and when you're down so low, it's, I don't know. I'm not too sure.
Yeah.
So.
Looks like it'll be the same play, coming in for 8.
Let's see if he untaps this time.
I hope so. Otherwise, he's just dead on board.
Yeah, let's see. It looks like he's got a pair of Farseeks. All right, this time he does it. I think last time it was just a mishap, and he just kind of forgot about it. So, all right. Brian draws. He has I think he still has that Bonfire and Huntmaster as his last 2 cards.
Okay, so that Bonfire
is essentially it's lethal, you know.
Pretty much.
Comboed with the Hellkite.
Oh, Selesnya Charm.
Oh, that was a nice draw because he had the Farseek last turn.
Yeah, that was one of the only draws that Steven had to deal with that Thundermaw Hellkite.
Yeah. All right, there's Huntmaster.
Just putting more bodies on the board.
Yeah. So realistically, Brian should be at 10 life. Let's see if that plays. I'm sorry, Steven should be at 10. Let's see if that plays a big factor here.
Yeah, I think it might with that Bonfire in hand.
All right, so Steven's lineup play. Did he draw anything good this turn?
I couldn't tell.
Okay.
He will make his Aetherling unblockable though.
Sure.
Come in for 8.
Okay.
Brian Swatkins is now at 8, so 1 swing away, 1 Aetherling swing.
Yeah. It looks like Steven just doesn't have anything though.
I don't think he does. I think he's going to be dead to this attack plus Bonfire.
Yeah, we'll see. I do see a Farseek in hand. You don't want to just pass and have the Huntmaster flip.
Right.
You also don't want to pass and not have Aetherling on defense like last time. So we'll see what Steven's going to do here. He looks to be figuring that Hollow Fountain.
Yep, he has to cast a spell.
There's a Farsight. I wonder what the last card in his hand is. It looked like a Sphinx Revelation, but there's no way that's the case.
No, he would have just left the Aetherling back on defense, I
Yeah.
would think, if that was it.
Yeah, I'm not too sure. He's looking around. He's like, did anyone see that I forgot to blink out my Aetherling that one turn? I don't think so.
No, no one saw that.
Can you make out what's in his hand?
It's a magic card.
It definitely is a magic card.
So, Steven, you have to blink this Aetherling out, unless he has a charm. There we go, okay.
Well, he's still going to be dead to this bonfire that he doesn't know about.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a wolf
yeah,
run.
yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
Wow.
Steven extends the hand.
That's insane.
And
That was
Swatkins
quick.
defeats the Aetherling.
Yeah, wow. I'm like baffled. He played Aetherling pretty early in the game with protection.
I was at 30 life, though.
Sure, he was at